Woo! All mainstreams here are corporate media. So I'll show you what they're not showing you. Looks like we got forensics here. They do still have the screens up. I think definitely some homicide detectives are here as well. But we'll also show you what mainstream may or may not clip. I'll show you it, the public release in its entirety. Hopefully there's not too much wind noise. They like to set up in weird places, so. Ooh. Looks like a lot of neighbors are out as well. So this is right across the street from the Holiday here. In one of those 2 apartment buildings. They have both of them taped off. I don't know. Looks like they're gonna set up this way. Yeah, they're gonna be streaming this, it looks like.
Hey boss, can we get some of these?
No, that man sense of Jesus, because where that goes, they're like, okay, watch where heaven. Yeah. You guys select the location and the shot versus you having to follow them around. It's a lot of kids to the country. Yeah. Jim says hi. I go wherever you guys go. I really care about pressers anyways, right. As you guys think, right? And I was trying to get one shot at it.
Sorry, and then I said, yeah,
updated file art.
not Jordan, very nice shot.
Yeah, and they all want to trade.
I did not know that you left.
Perfect. That's the thing. I mean, I can turn it up. I'm only like halfway. More than usual.
Like, what am I supposed to
yeah, I check once in a while.
Well, the party is started now.
Okay.
What, because it's still oh, you're here.
He thought you were talking about
You're like, you can't possibly talk about me. I'm the guy who bust the party up.
Yeah.
hide here. And the news people are just yucking it up. It's not like they don't know. I guess they're just desensitized.
Well, this is both is new. I don't know who they are, but the other place has been around for like 60 years now. Used to be the drive-in, and then they just kind of shaded new up. It was really food. It was great place. This, I don't know what these are. This is
So this press release should be starting here in like 6 minutes. Not seeing the PIO yet. Some more news. So this is right by the Dayton's Bluff post office.
In this thing or what?
My daughter goes to school right there.
Oh. Unreal.
Been there since like 7:30 this morning.
What?
They've been there since 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, it works. You look right at me, so then the party started, and I'm like, hey, that's the most ego boost I've had in months. And then I turn around. I know. I feel bad.
Yeah, this happened pretty early this morning from what I know. I'm sure they'll give us some more details here soon. guess the garbage truck is running down that alley. Hopefully they collected everything they needed.
Can you set this on top of here? Let this you guys up. It's not you.
Not me.
Ah, maybe it's not running down that alley. It might be blocked.
Do you want me to, oh yeah, do you want me to set?
Yeah, one
You could-
good go or give me the
Yeah. But it is the second.
I could fit mine in there. Can you
Mine's just running, it's mine's not, I don't apologize.
I think we're fine.
Right, exactly. There you go.
One. I'm sorry. The gamers, everybody ready? I think so. Yes? I'll start with my name just for a sound check here. Sergeant Mike Ernster, that's spelled E-R-N-S-T-E-R. I'm the Public Information Officer for the City of St. Paul Police Department. Unfortunately, I'm here to talk about the 11th and 12th homicides of 2023 in the City of St. Paul. We understand that everybody wants answers to what occurred out here this morning. We want answers also. We want answers for the victims' families. We want answers for the people that live in this building. We want answers for people that live in this neighborhood and for our city. Our investigators are going to work very hard to try to determine the circumstances that led to this tragic incident and determine who's responsible. But that work is just beginning, and we don't have all the answers yet. But I can tell you what we do know at this point. At approximately 5:43 this morning, officers were called to an apartment complex on the 1400 block of East Minnehaha Avenue on a report of a person shot. When officers arrived, they located an adult female suffering from apparent gunshot injuries. St. Paul Fire paramedics responded and pronounced her dead on scene. As officers were securing the crime scene, a second victim was located. This victim was a male victim who was located outside behind the building, suffering from apparent gunshot injuries also. Unfortunately, he also was pronounced dead on scene. Our homicide unit investigators are trying to determine what occurred out here. They're speaking with witnesses, and they'll be working with our forensic services unit to determine what occurred and who's responsible. And they'll do that by hopefully finding physical evidence that tells the story of what occurred and any possible video evidence that might exist. At this point, we don't have a motive for what transpired out here this morning. We have not made any arrests. and a connection between the two victims has not yet been determined. We'll be working with the Ramsey County Medical Examiner to positively identify the victims and determine their exact cause of death. This information and any other updates on this case will be released on the St. Paul Police Department's Twitter account as it becomes available. Keeping this in mind, that how early we are and everything I've just said, I'll take some questions.
Where was the female found?
In an apartment inside the building.
Inside, but the male victim was found outside.
The male is found outside, yes.
Which building?
I believe it's the one with the paper around it there, the second, the middle one.
The middle one.
Yes.
Was the male victim an adult also?
Undetermined at this point. We'll be working with the Ramsey County Medical Examiner. Hopefully we'll determine that once we positively identify him.
This is a double homicide?
We are investigating as 11th and 12th of 2023, so yes.
Did you have any reports of shots fired or anything like that around that time?
I am not aware of any calls specific to this building. We've had 8 calls to this building in the past calendar year, meaning 12 months. But they're typical calls to an apartment building, disturbance, nothing that would shed any light on something like this happening. Anything else?
You have information about gun violence in St. Paul this year?
Yeah, so in 2023, we've been working with our Officer of Neighborhood Safety and our Aspire unit, part of the police department, who's working within that concerted effort to address gun violence in our city. I can tell you that our gunshot victims are down 31% this year. And I also know that our shots fired are down 44% from where we were last year at this point. Both those numbers are to date, 2022 to 2023. We've also recovered more guns. So we have been very intentional about intervening in gun violence and identifying people who we believe could be involved in gun violence, reaching out to them and trying to do the hard work of working with them so that we can interrupt this cycle of violence. Unfortunately, there are still people that choose to reach for a gun to settle their differences, and we're working hard to stop that. It's under investigation of who lived where and what their connections were with each other. Investigators will be trying to comb through all of that. It's just too early for us to come out and say who was where, what, and who lived where. We're still trying to figure it out.
Anybody say that they had heard screaming or shouting or anything like that?
Investigators are working with witnesses right now to try to determine all of that. We want those same answers. All right.
Mike, would you consider 8 calls to an apartment building in
I would, for an apartment building, a typical apartment building, as far as the types of calls, there's a lot of people when they're living in a common space like that that you would think there'd be more. So I would think it's really on the low side. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Press release?
Alright, so this is the official press release. I'll try not to drop it in water. Hopefully you guys can read it. They really didn't release too much more information, and they kind of went over everything. 2 deceased, one in the apartment and one kind of in the back, and they're still investigating, and I believe they have their video management unit on scene and the crime scene. And we're gonna end that here.